Hello to you. I'm making this quick advert to help people who have dual nationality with South Africa and perhaps another country, whether it be England, America, Portugal, or whatever. Recently, the South African immigration people have started to ask people with dual citizenship to enter South Africa on their South African passports rather than the other passport. In this case, my wife is South African and she's also got a British passport. So I started the ball rolling of renewing her South African passport to obey the rules of entering South Africa on her South African passport, and found that I'd entered a minefield. And so I hope that this little video will do something to alleviate the stress that you're going through. First of all, I went onto the SA High Commissioner website in London, only to discover under their civic section that the outsourcing or renewing of passports, which is the case with my wife, South African passports, has been outsourced to a company called VFS, that's Victor Foxtrot Sierra Global, VFS Global in London. Okay, so I read all the jargon. I believe if you're trying to get a new South African passport in London, you can still do that if it's your first one. And I'm not sure about applying for a passport through the post. I didn't go into that, and that's out of the field of what I'm going to explain here. Basically, when I got hold of the VFS mob, I entered a minefield. They're an Indian company, and with all due respect to them, they find it hard to understand English, and I find it hard to understand them because of their very broad accents. But and also their helpline, they've very sneakily made it a 0900 number, so it charged me £1 a minute to get advice from them, and I'm making this video so that hopefully you don't have to pay £1 a minute. After several calls where I spent about £30, I've got more or less a guideline of what I have to do. So here goes. I hope it answers your questions. There's some nitty-gritty things that I've dug into. So we're due to go up to London on the 7th of July to sit through my wife's appointment, and I hope that I've got everything sorted out. So basically on the VFS website, you have to register with them. You then make a booking for an appointment to go up and see them. They will send an email to you to confirm the booking, but wait for up to 2 hours or more for that email to come through to you. I don't know why it takes so long, but it did with me. And in that email, you have to click an activation code for the account that you've set up to become active. If you don't click that, you can't make a booking. Anyway, once you've made the booking, that's fine. It's there. They send you the email with your booking details, and you can print that off. So that's okay. If you have problems going onto the calendar part where you book in your appointment, just check that your firewall is not up on your computer or any type of goodie that's blocking it coming through. Now, there's no explanation on VFS website whatsoever as to what you must do. So I've picked brains from him and picked brains from other people. They do not supply any information on forms. They do not have any links to any forms. You have to download the forms from the South African High Commission or the Embassy in London, whatever you want to call it. That is easy enough to do on the website. You just type in South African High Commission, go to their civic section, and about a third of the way down the page you'll see the 3 forms, which are the DHA 9, DHA 73, and BI 529. Now you'll see virtually straight away that you can click on 2 of them. That is the BI 529 and the DHA 73. You can click on those and download them. Okay, so that's not a problem. The other one, which is the DAH9, you can't click on it because it has to be issued to you by the South African High Commission. So I thought, well, I can't go to the South African High Commission anymore. How do I get it? How do I get it, this DHA9 form? I guess you could, if you really wanted to cause yourself a lot of murder, actually write to them and ask for it and fill out the DHA9 form, which is actually your fingerprint form. Okay. The reason why you can't download it is because it's got a special barcode that's allocated to you. Okay. So in one of my many phone calls to VFS, I managed at long last, by speaking very slowly and clearly and being very patient, they came round to telling me that the fingerprint form, the DHA9, is issued by them in London. They take the fingerprints and they certify it. Okay, so that's the fingerprint form with the 4 fingers, 5 fingers one side, 5 fingers the other side of the page, and they sign it off and certify it. So that solves that problem. You can get the other 2 forms and fill them out relatively easily. It's not a problem with them. And then but you will notice this took a long time to find out from them, and another 20,000 phone calls. At the bottom of DHA 73, I think you can see here, there's Part B, which involves a fingerprint and blah 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 there. So I thought, well, how am I going to get that done? Because in my first phone call they said they don't certify anything. So I thought, oh dear God, what do I do now? And then anyway, I eventually phoned them back and spoke to another person, and she put me on hold, which cost me £5. When she came back, she said, VFS Global will complete Part B of the DHA 73 form. So they will do the thumbprint, they will attach a photo, one of the photos that you take, and obviously put your signature on the form, or my wife will. As far as I know, you need 4 photographs. You need 2 for the passport, 1 to be attached to the DHA 73, and the one that goes onto your fingerprint form. I think that's correct. I've gone ultra conservative and I've printed off 8. I've got 4 certified and I've left 4 uncertified because you just don't know whether they have to be certified. There is another website floating around on the internet there where somebody's gone into the embassy and asked questions and has put all the answers onto their YouTube channel, website or whatever, and they say that your forms have to be certified. But then who certifies them? Then somewhere else I found out that you can get a notary to do it, but I was quoted £269 to make copies of my documents, which is just outrageous. And then a lawyer can do it. I think the police can do it, but I found here in Salisbury in England, where I live, that they no longer do it. So at the end of the day, I went to the post office here in England. I don't know what it's going to be like in your country, but the post office was quite happy to certify them for a very nice fee of £38. Thank you very much. So when I get to London, I'm going to have to pay them £35 for their fee. I'm going to have to pay them £35 for the South African fee, plus the money that I've already spent on getting copies certified, and the train fare to London and the taxi and all that. I'm looking at £200. To be perfectly frank with you, they're not reading you the right act to that extent when you enter South Africa. If it's the first time you've entered, they just give you a warning apparently. Some people have been fined and some people have actually been turned back. So it's getting a bit sticky. My uncle flew, the date of this program, that YouTube that I'm putting up is the 28th of June. My uncle flew a month ago and he just walked straight in on a Brit passport, and he's a South African citizen and he's got dual nationality. And my My niece or nephew from Canada entered on an American passport, and somebody else entered on a German passport. So that's 3 within the last 2 to 3 months, and they all got in okay. And to be honest with you, it's a lot easier, a lot cheaper, and a lot more convenient to do it in South Africa. But if you feel you have to do it here in England, this is the way to do it. Now, there are all sorts of alarm bells on BF's website and the embassy that you've got to allow a minimum of 6 months. Now, the forms that I have had photocopied, I've had the current passport. I've had let me just see if I can find the list here. Anyway, I've got the current passport, the one that's expired. I've got a marriage certificate. I've got a marriage certificate, current passport. Yeah, because my wife became a naturalized citizen in the UK, we're going to have to supply proof of that. And if you apply to the South Africans to retain your South African passport, when you get a British or foreign passport, there's a form that the South African embassy sends you. They want a copy of that. That's if you're a dual national. Also a copy of your ID booklet. But my wife's ID booklet is so old, it's got her maiden name on it, and she looks like a little girl on it. I'm just like you out there, frustrated as anything. But I hope this helps you. Get the forms off the South African High Commission. Part B of Form 73-73 is done by them up in London, and they do the fingerprint form. I believe they also take photographs for you, but I wouldn't depend on that because I read somewhere else as well that their machine was broken. Now, on the South African website, it just says take 1 copy of each document. I've taken 2 that are certified, 2 that are certified, and 2 that are uncertified. In case I've certified them incorrectly, and I have to do it all over again. So just go prepared. Take a stapler with you, whatever, bit of sticky tape, a stamp, and when you get there, make sure you remember to ask them how you're going to get it back. I've not gone up to the meeting yet, so I can't give you that answer, but I will put a footnote in this video when I have that information. If you need to ask me any questions, just bang them down below in the comments section. I'll do what I can to help you, but I think I've covered most of it. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. I hope it helps you. Okay, bye.